Hey gang, Drex coming at you here with a review of the very popular Ninja Pyrate modular staff system. Specifically, I'll be covering how it applies to the world of double staff. Of course, most of us who have played with double staves know that the normal way that this works is that you get yourself, or you make yourself a pair of double staves. They're essentially one unit, and however big they happen to be, that is what they are, and they're either fire staves or they're LED staves or practice staves, so on and so forth, right? The good folks at Ninja Pyrate, that is Christine and Skiffle, have come up with a slightly different approach for thinking about this, which is that they have made their staff system modular and made it out of interchangeable pieces. So, for example, there's these little push buttons here on these staves, which are currently rigged up to be fire staves, and I can push those buttons and remove the fire ends. And if I wanted to, I could exchange them for these here ends that have some old school flow lights in them, yeah? Which, means that in total, switching between my glow staves and my fire staves, as you can see there, takes about 10 to 15 seconds. Of course, these ends also, if you prefer, can take the newer style of pods that, link together with these flat ends right here, which of course is preferable in some cases because you can very easily turn them on by just hitting the button at the very end, so you don't have to actually pull them out of the casing or what have you. You end up with a little bit of extra spacing in the plastic right here, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, big deal, right? So, aside from the fact that just, you can pretty much go wherever you want and have your glow and your fire options available to you, the absolute coolest thing about this to me is this. If I want to, I can take these apart, like so, and throw them in my backpack, like so, and done. They're that portable. This is totally awesome because I am so used to normally having to strap staves to the side of my backpack as I'm wandering around at festivals and the like. And this degree of portability has meant that I can take them around with me even in the city wherever I happen to want to go and everything. The other thing, of course, that is amazing about them is wherever I happen to be traveling, let's say I'm going to a gig or what have you, it has been known to happen that you'll go to a gig and it'll get rained out or something like that. And, by making this system so incredibly modular, you can essentially show up and be like, hey, I can spin LEDs instead, and just trade out all of those pieces like that, no problem, right? Okay, so we've talked a lot about the positives of these. Now let's talk a little bit about the negatives. And granted, they are fewer, but they do exist. The biggest negative for me is just the weight. That is, since so much of the hardware is metal, and, granted, this is part of what makes it possible to be able to trade out the glow and fire parts of it. These wind up being a little bit heavier than I would normally like. The second large trade-off that I've found is, to be perfectly frank, it's a byproduct of how small staves that I'm using. At 30 inches, there's very, very, very little hardware left for you to grab onto. For example, when I'm playing around with fishtails, my grip almost always has to start at a spot where the hardware is meeting together, and that's occasionally a pain. The bigger problem that I ran into is simply that because there is this long metal piece attached to the fire ends, when I first lit these up, they were almost too hot for me to be able to find usable. And I found actually that the staves themselves remained almost too hot to touch for several minutes after the burn had completed. Eventually, what I did to solve this problem is I removed a bit of the wicking. That is, I took about a foot of wick off of each side, just because the wicks as they originally came were just too big for the size of the staves. The only other thing that's really stuck out to me about these is, as you shake them, as you move them back and forth, you can feel the componentry kind of like bouncing around a little inside the joint. And that's a little disconcerting. I don't think it is anything that compromises your ability to perform with them or anything like that. So overall, my impressions of these are really, really good. If for no other reason than, like I said, The way that these collapse down and become so incredibly portable inspires me to want to take them more places. And the more places I take them, the more likely I am to use them. The more likely I am to use them, the more practice I get in at them. And that's a good thing, I think, overall. So I will say, overall, the review here is 2 thumbs up. Christine and Skiffle, you guys have come up with an amazing system for allowing those of us who spend doubles to have it all, so to speak. You know, without a doubt, just the greatest thing about these is that I can throw them in my backpack. It's a really, really, really convenient way to be able to use my props. So, Christine and Skiffle, thank you so much for sending me these and letting me play with them. There is a link in the description to this video to go visit Ninja Pyrate if you guys want to check these out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have yourselves a great week. Peace. Hey gang, this video was sponsored by Harmonic Threads. They created this hoodie as well as the tops that I'll be wearing all month long in my videos. As a male fire dancer, it's really a challenge sometimes to find nifty looking clothes that are still fire safe. Harmonic Threads is filling in the gap with fire-safe and stylish clothes for both men and women. You can visit their Etsy shop by clicking on the link in the description of this video and use the promo code DrexFactor to get 10% off of your order. Thank you so much to Harmonic Threads for helping me create these videos. If you or someone that you know has learned something from one of the videos that I've created, please consider going to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi and signing up to be a supporter. There you'll get access to a lot of behind-the-scenes content as well as some great rewards, plus which you'll be helping me create educational flow arts content for people the world over.